welcome back. Today we've got another £500 of £2 coins we're going to be hunting through. We're looking for commemoratives, ones with more than face value, but ideally some of the missing coins from our book. We need any of the Commonwealth Games, they would make for lovely finds, Olympic Rio handover, and then the Great Fire of London to complete the book. So let's get into these bags and see what we find today. Right then, into bag number one. What are we going to get? Whoops, dropping everything everywhere. That's Technologies, the standard definitive design used on £2 coins up until 2015. There are some lower minted years, but they're not desirable enough coins. I tend to keep my eyes peeled out for them. Bag number one is a case of the Diddleys, but let's cross our fingers and hope that we later in the bag find some exciting coins. There we go, there's one. Not the most exciting coin, it is Guy Fawkes Gunpowder Plot. Fairly common coin that you'll regularly find in your change, worth just £2, as is this one, Brunel's Achievements. There's two Brunel coins, both of which are fairly common. We have counters tracking Brunel's and Gunpowder Plot actually for this book. I always select a couple of coins, some common, some uncommon, just out of interest to see at the end of the book how many of some of these coins did we find, or how many did we come across before we finally completed the book. Obviously some of the more common coins can end up with quite high numbers, but it's always interesting to see. Now that is Jodie Clark's fifth and final Portrait of the Queen, so we know that's going to be something. It's a Shakespeare's Histories, the more common of the three Shakespeares. Still worth a smidge over face value. Edge inscription reads as the Hollow Crown. That is correct for this coin. I'll check some of the coins' edge inscriptions during the hunt, but I will check the rest of them at the end of the video to see if we missed any exciting edge inscription error coins. But I've been saying in a few of my videos recently, I'm off to the Royal Mint experience again. I'm going on October the 26th at 2 PM. That's to get the Monopoly 50p Strike Your Own, if you want to come along and say hi. And then again in November on the 22nd and 23rd, 1 PM both days. It's now been confirmed the Strike Your Own will have changed. It's going to change to the Snowman 50p, which is quite exciting. We've got Charles Darwin there, a smidge over face value, not the most valuable coin in the world, but there we go. And there is Florence Nightingale. Well, it's not all grubby and battered. This is a pretty nice design. I do like that coin, but that one is a little bit gunked up. So yes, if you want to come to the Royal Mint experience and say hello, that's the dates that I'm going to be there. And yes, the Monopoly Striker I'm very excited for. The Christmas Snowman one again is always part of Christmas tradition, getting down, having a Christmassy tour, spending some times with some of my friends and coin tubers and subscribers. I'm sure that a good time will be had all round. Oh, we're flying through these, aren't we? We've still got lots of bags still to go through. Should we do an edge hunt though, nice and early-ish. So what we can do with £2 coins is read the edge inscription and then work out what the coin should be. Standing on the Shoulders of Giants is the quote from Isaac Newton, which is on the definitive Technologies design. I think that's all we're going to get in this bag, but we will double check. I've made mistakes before, misread or totally missed edge inscriptions, so I always like to do a double check. Right, anything in this bag? What do I see? Shoulders. Oh, Marconi. That's the wireless transmission. There we go. Another pretty design, but again, a fairly common one. Anything more for the rest of this handful? I don't think so. Well, we found something. We've had some success. I did, was it last year now? The year before? I found an NIFC, a coin not intended for circulation by its edge inscription. It's the Agatha Christie £2 coin. And although I'm pretty good with my circulating £2 coins and their edge inscriptions because I get to practice them all the time, the ones that were not minted for circulation I'm not very good at because I don't see them that often. And when I found that Agatha Christie one, I got very much stumped. Could not work out what the coin was going to be. But Something about the little grey cells. So I'll remember it now. If I ever come across one. Could you imagine that? What are the chances? I do a couple of bags a hunt as an edge inscription hunt. What's the chances of finding the same NIFC in 2 different edge inscription hunts? Very slim, I reckon. Rugby World Cup, no rotation error. So as I said, some of the errors we look for during the hunt. Others I will go through all the coins at the end just to double check in case I've missed anything exciting. We do every now and again have something turn up, whether it's a rotation error or a double die obverse. Other Brunel's achievements. I'm sure it's Brunel's portrait, which is miles and miles in the lead in the Brunel versus Brunel counter. So some achievements those archers required to catch up. Not a lot, but nothing in it. But no, we are drawing to the end of the year. I think most of the releases we were expecting for this year are out. Oh, DNA double helix. Another very pretty design. And we'll be looking at annual coin sets all over again. Another year done. I mean, we've already got some coins that have been release dated 2026. Some of the coins towards the end of the year tend to be post-dated. Yeah, that is right, isn't it? Post-dated. Yeah, if you were writing a check and you didn't want someone to cash it for a week, you would put it for the week ahead. And that would be post-dating. But there we go. I know lots of people don't like that. They like the idea that coins, the date on a coin should be the date it was the year it was minted. However, there are some countries abroad, back when the Royal Mint used to mint coins for foreign countries, that didn't used to change the date at all. It's just a production cost, isn't it? Having to create new dies with new dates on them. VE Day anniversary, no rotation error. Rugby World Cup, no rotation error. What's this one? There's a shiny one. Still no rotation error. We won't do every coin in this bag, don't worry. It just so happens there's a couple of commemoratives which I have seen with exciting rotation errors. I thought worthwhile checking throughout the hunt. So I can't check every single coin for all the different errors that I will be checking for because... Whoops. Stacks of coins falling over. I can't multitask that much. Another VE Day anniversary. Another one with no rotation error. It'd be cool to have a commemorative with a significant rotation error. I think that would be a pretty neat thing to have in my collection. It'll happen at some point, just got to keep looking. And if we're very, very lucky, maybe we'll come across one. Abolition of the slave trade is quite a common coin, as is Lord Kitchener, but there is a very exciting error coin to be had with these Lord Kitcheners. On the obverse, the head side of the coin, it should say £2 at the bottom, just there. With a little scratch. It looks like it said 30. 3014, imagine that. Right, let's have a look. It does say £2 on it, so this one is correct. That's how it should appear in circulation. What happened was that they paired 2 different dies from 2 different coins and produced a mule error. Look at all these Rugby World Cups. None with the rotation errors though. So yes, the Lord Kitchener mule error is a very exciting, very rare and very valuable coin if you come across one, and I think it's always worth checking because I know people have found them in their change. Another VE Day anniversary, again with no rotation error. But mark my words, one of these days we'll find an exciting one. Wow, we have absolutely raced through these coins. And we are on to the last bag. So, links as usual are in the description of this video across to my coin collecting Discord server if you'd like to join me and other coin collectors over on that. You'll also find links to my other social media channels, the PO box address if you'd like to write into me, and of course a link to the Britannia Coin Company's YouTube channel, the company I work for as my day job, so please check them out too. I'm just going to whiz through all of these coins now and see if I've missed any exciting errors. Unfortunately, no exciting areas to be added to our roster of finds today. We got a couple of star finds. Nothing extraordinary, but there we go. This is what happens every now and again. You can't get lucky every single coin hunt, but we will try next time. I think I picked Charles Darwin as my favourite, well, my star find at least. Maybe not my favourite coin. My favourite coin, I'm going to go Florence Nightingale. Even though it's grubby and disgusting, I think it's a beautiful design. But as ever, let me know in the comments what you would pick as the star find, or if you've had your own star find, let us all know what you have been finding as well. All it leaves me to do now is thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for more coins. Bye.